the second month. And I would say, what have you done in the year 2025? This is not to put pressure on anyone. But of course, you had plans at the beginning of the year. What have you done with them? The goals you set at the beginning of the year, how far have you started working on them? What have you been doing to achieve your set goals? Please start making plans. Start working on those goals. Start working on those projects. Start working on those things you have in mind to do in 2025. Time waits for no man. How time flies. So please start it now. There is never a right time. There's never a perfect time, but the time is now. I welcome you on board to Press Drive on I-FLIER 103.3 FM Ibadan. Welcome to our newspaper review program, where we take you through headlines making rounds in the national dailies this morning. I have The Punch, The Nation, and the Daily Post newspapers. We'll start with the headlines before we move to details of the stories we want to look at this morning. Joining me for analysis is Honorable Femi at DBC. We'll be on the program Press Drive together this morning. And of course, you, our listeners, you can be a part of the conversation also. You can call the studio lines, which I'll open when it's time. On our Facebook page, you can watch us live at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live, at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Like, share, follow us. We would appreciate that. Thank you very much. I am your driver this morning. My name is ESTHER ATILOLA. And let's move to the newspapers very quickly. I start with the headlines of the Punch newspaper. We move to that of the Nation and the Daily Post newspapers. And on the Punch newspaper, why INEC vote count can't be accurate, says Jonathan. Why INEC vote count can't be accurate, says former President Goodluck Jonathan. Nigeria's World Bank debt may eat $9.2 billion as federal government eyes 6 loans. Nigeria's World Bank debt may hit $9.2 billion as federal government eyes 6 loans. Tax reform. Senate plans review its customs, ASU, fault provisions. Tax reform. Senate plans review its customs, ASU, fault provisions. Africa needs partnerships, not loans, to tackle energy crisis, says Lukbobiri. Africa needs partnerships, not loans, to tackle energy crisis, says Lukbobiri. Obasa awaiting ruling before returning to assembly, says lawyer. Obasa awaiting ruling before returning to assembly, says lawyer. Senate backs Akpabio as Natasha files 100.3 billion naira defamation suit. Senate backs Akpabio as Natasha files 100.3 billion naira defamation suit. Afenifere backs Kalu, says declaring Abiola president long overdue. Afenifere backs Kalu, says declaring Abiola president long overdue. Still on the Punch newspaper this morning, going through some of its headlines. EU, CAS Africa, Rollock, Council Media on Transparency, Good Governance, Promotion. Away from that, Southeast stakeholders demand Nnamdi Kanu's release, establishment of Human Rights Bureau. Southeast stakeholders demand Nnamdi Kanu's release, establishment of Human Rights Bureau. I won't trade my salvation in Christ for anything, says Reps Okafor. Rivers APC denies pro-Wike lawmakers membership. Rivers APC denies pro-Wike lawmakers membership. President Tinubu's government not marginalizing Muslims, APC tells Sharia Council. Tinubu government not marginalizing Muslims, APC tells Sharia Council. Governor pledges promotion of Igbo language and culture in Abia State. Governor pledges promotion of Igbo suspended members. Imo Assembly pardons, recalls 4 suspended members. Senate accuses CBN of frustrating 30 trillion naira ways and means. Probe. Senate accuses CBN of frustrating 30 trillion naira ways and means. Probe. Lagos State Government begins consultation on Purple Line Rail Project. Lagos State Government begins consultation on Purple Line Rail Project. And going through the last set of headlines on the Punch newspaper this morning, in the education segment of the Punch paper, JAMB affirms deadline as 1.5 million register for UTME. JAMB affirms deadline as 1.5 million register for UTME. Reps Minister canvass tax exemption for PWDs. Reps Minister canvass tax exemption for PWDs. Army determined to end terrorism, says Chief of Army Staff. Army determined to end terrorism, says Chief of Army Staff. Oyo issues safety guidelines for billboard installations. Oyo issues safety guidelines for billboard installations. And finally, on the Punch newspaper this morning, Ribadu denies 2031 presidential bid. Presidency knocks El-Rufai. Ribadu denies 2031 presidential bid. Presidency knocks El-Rufai. Now to the Nation newspaper this morning. Let's go through some of its headlines very quickly. Services, petrol refining sectors propel GDP growth to 3.84%. Services, petrol refining sectors propel GDP growth to 3.84%. Reconciliation, inclusivity for new members top APC NEC agenda. Reconciliation, inclusivity for new members top APC NEC agenda. First Lady seeks collective action against HIV and AIDS, female genital mutilation. First Lady seeks collective action against HIV/AIDS, female genital mutilation. Kalu seeks posthumous recognition for Abiola as ex-president. Kalu seeks posthumous recognition for Abiola as ex-president. Why federal government scrapped visa on arrival policy by Tunji Ojo. Why federal government scrapped visa on arrival policy by Tunji Ojo. Natasha sues Akpabio, others were 100.3 billion naira. Natasha sues Akpabio, others for 100.3 billion naira. Other headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning, especially in the entertainment section. Why Isheoluwa is the intro to my 4th album by Fireboy. Why Isheoluwa is the intro to my 4th album by Fireboy. Lagos, Calabar Coastal Road. I-Tech gets federal government nod to seek foreign fund. Lagos, Calabar Coastal Road. I-Tech gets federal government nod to seek foreign fund. Art market still evolving. Benin art market. Tax reforms will stimulate, says President Tinubu. Tax reforms will stimulate local foreign investment, says President. Attack on APC. Tinubu